program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And folks, today we're going to have an amazing show. We've got a very special guest here today who's going to talk to some of you contractors about how you can tap into insurance and handle risk management for your projects. But in the meantime, I want to talk to my co-host. We're going to do a little crosstalk here. So, co-host, how are you doing today?
I am good today. I am rested because I didn't have a crazy schedule like I've had for the last 2 months. So I could get up at the time I wanted to get up. I can exercise every morning, which I have done since Monday.
Oh, I
And
envy you.
you envy me, and I got pretty much my to-do list, my task list. I got it like 3/4 completed.
Oh man.
So I just got a few little things left on it, and so that felt good. Felt like I finally accomplished something.
It's always a good feeling when you get things accomplished, man.
Right.
We have those proverbial lists, right? Where we have like 20 things on the list, and if we can get to 2 or 3, we're lucky.
Yeah, very, very lucky. And with my calendar, the way it has been of late, that was not possible at all. And
Mm-mm-mm.
so once the youth business camps were over, I feel like I've accomplished some stuff. I'm feeling like my brain can think.
Yeah.
Um and things are not before it's like the brain was like all over the place and it I could barely get through a day.
Yeah.
so
So
so that felt
I
good.
know you've been running the biz camp with the kids. So that has come to an end for this series, or
Yep,
okay.
done at least for the summer.
Yeah.
So we did our 2 months, June and July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, June and July, and then August I take off in September,
Mm-hmm.
and then we come back in the fall. So we will start back up the first week of October
Mm-hmm.
and get ready for the next series of competitions for the
So
kids.
how many of your young entrepreneurs actually started a business?
Actually, there were probably in this particular cohort, there were probably 4 of them that actually had a business already.
Mm-hmm.
In the previous core, in the June cohort, there were 12 of them that actually had businesses
Mm-hmm.
already. So this group was all brand new,
I
brand
I
spanking
think one of
new.
them was a carryover from last season, right? She
Yeah,
can't remember her name. Uh,
Denise, she was actually on our show last year.
yes, she was on the show
Yes.
last year. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so she actually did her business, and so yeah, so she's added some new stuff to her business,
Mm-hmm.
some new products, which was cool. That's what we usually try to encourage them to do. If they've started a business, if they had one the previous year, we want you to keep adding to it. So the goal is to get them fully launched,
Right.
a license and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the
That's
process.
beautiful. That's beautiful. So
But
so go ahead, co-host. Go ahead.
but we do have a number of them that came through the program that is came through the program and are all excited about coming back in the fall.
Mm-mm-mm. That's good though.
So
I love it when the youth of our generation decide that they want to do entrepreneurship, because we weren't privy to that when we were growing up. We didn't have parents or family members or friends encouraging us to be entrepreneurs. So it's really refreshing to see these young individuals wanting to venture into entrepreneurship, because that tells me that once they get to a point, once they launch these ventures, and if they take the advice and the mentorship that we provide them, and then their
Mm-hmm.
business becomes successful, then they won't need to go working for the man.
Nope.
You see what I mean?
Nope. Nope.
So that's really what I love about it, because then they can determine their revenues, instead of being fixing a $60,000 a year or $70,000 a year salary. They can determine, hey, if I want to increase my revenue from 200,000 to 500,000 to a million, then I know what I need to do. I need to either get some government contracts or,
Yeah.
find me some new customers.
And it's interesting. So this year we did something a little different. We the last 3 years we were virtual,
Mm-hmm.
and which worked out fine for us because we were able to really communicate with the kids in from that virtual platform.
Yeah.
But what we did do, what was really great, was we went live this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're back live.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more stressful for me, but still live. But we were able to. We were actually Da Vinci Middle School and High School reached out to us. So we were actually on their campus. So we had probably about 6 or 7 of their children or their kids, their students enrolled in our class.
Mm-hmm.
And so they actually have an entrepreneur program there, but ours, of course, is much more extensive.
Good. Good.
So let me tell you guys, so Gilbert knows this. So the curriculum that we use is a full semester curriculum that is taught in the schools. We condense it down to 3 weeks, and it's taught as if they were in college. It's a college level course, and we condense it down, the class down to 3 weeks. The kids actually have a presentation, a pitch deck that includes their marketing materials, the problems they're solving, their value proposition, the marketing plan, and as well as the economic of what one unit, which is the cost it costs them to run their business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have to go through and do all of that in literally about 15 days. And then on the 15th day, they pitch their concept. Now here's the thing. A lot of times I don't get to hear what the pitch is before they actually pitch in competition day. But I will say this about these young people, and we had 39 in the first class and 29 in the second cohort. These kids blow you away because I'm squishing, literally taking open their little brains and squish all their information in, and then squish, squish, squish.
I totally believe you, man, because I see them presenting their business plan, and I'm going, what? They're using terminologies that many of our adult entrepreneurs don't even know about.
Squish, 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 squish. And then they come up and they get it. And I mean, I've had, when I first did this, Gilbert, and I think I've told this story to you and a number of other people.
Uh-huh.
15 years ago when I started doing this, and I went through and got certified to teach this course. When they were telling me that the kids were going to do it, and at that time it was 10 days, I was like, there is no way in the world they are going to get all of this information and be able to pitch it intelligently to win a competition,
right.
Shark Tank style, at the end. There's not going to happen, because I've had adults that I've been teaching 12-week programs for years, and they still don't have a business plan.
Hey, you'd be surprised what these youths can do, right?
Oh, the kids just blew it out the door. And we have one young lady that actually came back to us as a fellow this semester. So, she came to us 3 years ago. She was one of the first kids in our virtual class. So she has pitched her business for the last 3 years, almost 4 years, and she's won about $20,000 in competition. And so next month, in October, she's going to Austria to pitch on the world stage for this competition. And her product is, her business is launched. She's making sales. And she's in college right now. She was in high school ninth grade or 10th grade when we first met her,
Hmm.
and she's now going into her second year of college.
Wow, that's
So it works.
amazing. That's amazing. I am so proud of the work you're doing over there, co-host. You know,
Thank you.
if you're not solid, if you're not solid in what you're doing, you don't have a solid foundation. There's no way someone can pull that off. But you've been doing this for years, and every year you outdo yourself. You know, you take
Ah.
these kids to their championship level where they compete on the national level, and you're able to get first, second, and third place. While I don't think there's any other business coach that was able to do that with their kids. So
Well, I will say for in the Nifty Network world, when we do that competition in the spring,
yeah,
we always take the first and the second and third place. And so, yeah, no. And there's 19 other organizations that are participating
yeah,
citywide that is doing that. And so, no, we take the first, second, and third place. But I think the difference is we're all myself and my partner Rhonda Hobart, we're both
yeah,
entrepreneurs. She runs, and we both run nonprofits, so we understand the
yeah.
concept, right?
That's right.
The others are more academic; they're
Yeah,
educators, but they're teachers,
yeah,
so they don't run their own businesses.
yeah.
So I think the key to it: if you live in it, you walk in it, you breathe in it, you understand all the components and the
Then you got it.
complexities of running a business, right?
Yeah,
When you don't, because business is not easy,
yeah,
and it's not every day is a new day.
yeah.
As an entrepreneur, every day is a new day.
That's true.
There is never a duplicate day.
That's true. That is true.
And I've been in business for 30 plus years. I have never had a duplicate. Have you had a duplicate day?
Nope, never at all. Every day is different. They say on a zebra, each stripe is different. On a leopard, each spot is different. It's the same thing with entrepreneurs, man. Every day is a different day. It may look similar, but it's different.
It's different.
The wants, the needs, the requirements are all different.
The people you meet,
Yeah,
the businesses you meet.
yeah,
So some businesses are, and as business coaches, some businesses are more coach friendly.
yeah,
Some people you have to kind of beat them down.
yeah, yeah. Got to have some come to Jesus meetings with them and say, hey, listen, we're either going to do this thing or we're going to have to kick you to the curb.
I had a client that I was coaching today, and she says, I was telling a friend of mine about you, Miss Christo. I said, yeah. She goes, and I told her, boy, she's not laxed at all, man. She don't give me a break.
You got a break at the end of this, but for now, you better work.
Yeah, if you come to me, there is no breaks because we want you to be successful. So sometimes it has to be a little tough love to go in there. We can pamper you a little bit, but most of the time, there is no pampering. There's like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
So how was your week?
oh, my week has been, like you say, no 2 days for an entrepreneur is the same. Mine has been very interesting, man. I got a client, man, that client is so special. So special, man. They suck up a lot of my time. They don't pay attention to my guidance. They do all the wrong things and they want me to do things. And then once they accomplish what I asked them to do, then they want me to start doing their stuff immediately. It doesn't work that way, because I have other clients that I got a schedule that I work with. So it doesn't work that way, man. But I think we're coming down to the end of the program. So
I know,
yeah,
I
it
know.
is
You just gotta love
unbelievable,
what we do.
man.
But it's good when you look up and I mean, every now and then you have a client that you've taken through the course of tough love,
Yeah,
and then you see them start to soar, and you see them start to their businesses really grow, and somewhere in that you had a part in that, right? And I have to say this. I am very proud over all the businesses that I've coached over the last 10, 15, 20 years that made it through the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
because that right there is pretty darn special.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of businesses did not make it through the pandemic. So I am
440,000.
right. So I am very proud of our businesses
Yeah.
because they're small. Most of our businesses are
Yeah.
small micro businesses, and they made it through.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there holding their hand,
Yeah.
but they made it through.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
have to give them
That that
you have to give them those
the thing
kudos.
about this client, they're not a small business. They're
Oh,
they're they're a larger business, and they're not paying attention, man. So I don't know if they're gonna learn anything after this, but I'm doing my best. Doing my best. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in to the program, this is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're on every Friday from 3 to 4:30, and if you want to reach us, my co-host will tell you how to go ahead and subscribe so you can get consistent information from our show.
so we're on every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and we'd love for you guys to go over and subscribe to our channel. We have been on air this year for 7 years, and we are excited. Before this year is up, we're going to have a big celebration.
That's right.
But in the meantime, we want to grow our channel. So we need you to go over to our YouTube channel, The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and hit that subscribe button. You can also get to that subscribe button by taking a screenshot of that QR code right there to take you directly to our channel, and just hit the subscribe button, and you will get a notification every week when we go live. And also, we rerun our shows again on Monday of the following week. And so you get to see whatever this show was today, you'll get to see it again next week. So hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you part of the Business Zone family. Gilbert and I are very passionate about the work we do, and we love what we do, and we want to share with you. So that's our story, and we're sticking with
That's
it.
exactly it, guys. So if you got your Facebook, you've got your LinkedIn, you've got YouTube, just go there and you can log into our show on any given Friday and 3 o'clock, and you can see the show live. We've got a lot of valuable information that we share here on the show. We talk about finance, talking about your back office. We talk about government contracts, procurement. We talk about how you need to become certified in order to get government contracts, how to team up with other small businesses so you can go after bigger contract. Anything you need to know about small business, that's what we do. We provide advice, coaching, and we provide information. From time to time, we have what we call class in session. So you guys can actually go through a class experience with us here live on the Business Zone for about 30 minutes, where you're going to be learning some really good stuff. You're going to learn, the difference between the different, forming a business entity. What's a C Corp versus an S Corp? Well, what's an LLC? What's a sole prop? What's a general partnership? What is a nonprofit, and how do you go about getting a nonprofit? We also help you in conducting assessments on your business, so you can assess your business to see how ready it is. Is it business ready? Is it contract ready? Is it loan ready? Or is it certification and nonprofit ready? So those are the types of things we do. And as a matter of fact, we're going to play our ad for you today so you can see our special platform that we use to help you small businesses get out there, get ready, go after these contracts, and become ready. So with that being said, I believe we've got a very special guest that we're going to have talk to you, general contractors out there, small contractors, specialty trade contractors. You've been in business for quite a while. You're chugging along, but you have this big obstacle in your way of insurance. So we're going to talk a little bit about insurance. We're going to talk about risk management and how we can help you guys, or how our guests can help you to become risk averse.
And he's going to share some secrets. He has his ebook out. He's going to share some secrets insurance companies pray that you never discover. And everybody always wants to know that because, everybody figures you pay for insurance that you never, when it's time to use it, you don't get to use it. It's just one of those things that you do. You purchase it and they don't want you ever to use it. So he's going to tell us how to make sure we get our claims paid. So he's going to let us in on some secrets. So we're looking forward to that. But before we do that, we're going to take a little commercial break and share with you a little bit about Gilbert's product, and actually a great product for all small businesses that are looking to manage their back office. And so we're going to share that with you. So let me bring that up and get you started. And let's go. Let me share.
We didn't have payment solutions like Melio.
Paying business bills with
Manage business enterprise certifications. You have a checklist of all the key documents.
Whoa, okay.
Do you have a tool that organizes your company's paperwork and takes care of all your record keeping? Does your current record-keeping system send you 90-day alerts to remind you that your key documents are about to expire and need to be renewed? Can you find contracts and procurement opportunities in seconds from any of the 50 United States so you can grow your business? Is your business organized so that you can tell which key documents are needed to efficiently run the business? How about woman-owned, small business, or disadvantaged business enterprise certifications? Do you have a checklist of all the key documents you need to become certified? Does your current system allow you to conduct market research from multiple sources and provide you industry and market data in seconds? Well, Small Biz Pro does all of that and more. Small Biz Pro is the #1 business management, compliance, procurement assistance, and market research assistance tool on the market today. Download the app now and you will be amazed. It's like having 3 additional employees working for you, but you don't have to pay them. What are you waiting for?
All right, guys, go out there and get your 3 employees that you don't have to pay for. So Gilbert, tell them why I pull up Kevin's
Oh yeah.
bio.
So
Tell them all about Small Biz
so
Pro
guys,
and how they
Small
can get
Biz Pro is a proprietary platform that yours truly developed over the last 16 years to help small businesses become business ready, contract ready, certification ready, loan ready, and even nonprofit ready. It sets up your back office with all the key documents that you guys need to run your business. Our upcoming guest is going to talk about insurance and how contractors need to have proper insurance in order to obtain a project, maintain a project, and to execute the project. So you're going to need certain paperwork in order to qualify for certain certifications, certain insurance, or certain programs, even their contract. So that's what Small Biz Pro does for you. It provides you a guidance and all of those documents you need to run your business. No other platform out there does that for you guys. No other platform. You're running your business all willy-nilly, not knowing what you need to have to run the business. Small Biz Pro say, hey, how about this document? Do you have this one? Oh, yeah, I got that. How about this one over here? Oh, I forgot that one. So that's what Small Biz Pro does for you. It keeps you engaged, keeps you in compliance, and it keeps you on top of your game. And that's how you can run your business without getting those 3 additional employees that you would naturally have to go get. Small Biz Pro save you time, money, and resources. So that's what Small Biz Pro is all about, guys. So if you need to gain access to this platform, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and you guys can just log in, check it out. If you want to do the 10-day trial to check it out, that's what we'll do. So that's what this is all about, my guys. And tune into our guest right now, and he'll tell you what you need, what documents you need, and how you're going to go about getting your insurance.
All righty, so let's meet our guest, Kevin Walheim started his company back in 2008. He got his insurance license in 2005, started working for for an Allstate agent to learn the industry. He was paid a very small salary and wanted big commissions to make a better living, like everyone that becomes a new business owner, right? You're always looking to increase the income. Over the next 2 years, Kevin dedicated himself and became the top commercial auto insurance provider in California by 2007. With all the success, he convinced his brother to open an Allstate agency so they could partner up and be successful working together. And that is what they did in 2008. For the next year and a half, Kevin averaged about 40,000 of commercial auto insurance premiums every month. Things got a bit tough being captive and not being able to write contractor liability and workers' comp insurance. So he and his brother decided to take the risk and sold their agency, Allstate Agency, in November of 2009 to go independent and officially started Cal Commercial Insurance in September of 2009. So over the next few years, he got appointed with some major MGA, including BTIS. He'll tell us what that is, SIS, and many more to really learn the contractor liability insurance. He also got appointed to many worker comp carriers. And so 8 years later, Kevin at Cal Commercial Insurance understands all the carriers and their underwriting guidelines and their strengths. And so with that, he's going to share with us the success of his organization. And like most small businesses, he went through his challenges, and I am sure he can say no one day is the same either. And welcome, Kevin.
Thank you.
To the business
Welcome,
zone.
Mr. Walheim, to the business zone.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to. I'm very passionate. I love what I do because I always tell people what really differentiates me is I'm a construction insurance specialist. The average broker who sells contractors their insurance doesn't know, doesn't care, and they don't know the underwriting for the construction industry. And unfortunately, it's the contractor who pays the ultimate price with higher rates.
Yeah.
Well, the number one thing that I really share with contractors is, you know, what the average broker doesn't know. Insurance is risk, okay, and you transfer risk to an insurance company. But the average insurance broker selling construction insurance, they don't know the difference. They don't know the construction risk spectrum. They don't know the difference between a low risk, good risk construction trade and a bad risk construction trade. And so what the big mistake they make is they take good low risk construction trades to very high risk, bad risk markets. When they end up doing that, what happens is the contractor is going to pay 50% more than they should. Happens all the time. Like in workers' comp insurance, the greatest example of high risk, we have what's called the number one insurer is the state of California, the State Compensation Insurance Fund. And they are what's called option of last resort. That means you're not getting a bargain from them. Obviously, if you go there, they probably realize you don't know any better. You have no other results. Yeah, we're going to stick it to you and charge you the highest rates we can.
You know,
and that's what happens.
A lot of small businesses don't know that because they're referred to the state fund to obtain insurance, and they're thinking, "Oh wow, since we're being referred to this source to obtain insurance, and it's a government-sponsored source, then maybe this is good for us." And the government is always looking out for us, so it's not going to cost that much.
They always look out for us.
but that's a fallacy, right? That's not accurate.
Yes, it is. The other problem is it's a lot of the brokers who don't know any better because they're writing everything auto, home, life, contractors. Yeah. And so they think contractor, workers' comp, state fund. They just push them to state fund because they know they'll take them. They don't want to learn the underwriting guidelines of the more competitive carriers that will target you who are better risk.
Yeah.
So every time, see, the biggest thing that I want to teach contractors is only but less than 5% of the trades are really what I categorize as high risk, and unfortunately are married to state fund. It's sad but true. So, and it
Okay.
all deals with height exposures. Your roofing contractors, tree trimmers, scaffolding, swimming pool. These are all very high risk who tend to be with state fund and have a hard time getting with the private carrier because they just don't want high risk. So basically, but the problem is, every day I work with a new electrical, plumber, a painter, general contractor, flooring guys. These guys have no height exposures, and guess what? I look at their license and I'm doing their liability. Oh, I see you're with state fund. So first question I have to ask, do you have any claims? And most of them, no. I'm like, wow, do you enjoy getting gouged? And they're like, no. And they don't realize that no one realized they're getting ripped off. No one likes to get ripped off.
Yeah.
But until someone educated like me informs them and shows them how,
Right.
then they're like, oh my God. And then every time, oh, my broker told me this is the only option.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time. The average insurance broker doesn't know, doesn't care. They just want to make a quick buck. And you need to work with someone who really knows the markets, and that's what I'm dedicated to for the construction industry.
I think what we can do on this program, the Business Zone, is to help educate some of these contractors, especially specialty trade contractors as well as general contractors, that the way to look at this is like a small business going for a loan for their business. Instead of getting a low interest rate loan from the bank at 6%, the state fund is similar to a hard money loan for like 25 or 30% interest rate. So that's become a burden to the contractor in terms of how much more they have to pay. And it's the same way it would affect the business if you were to get a hard money loan from a hard money lender. So that's how I want you guys to look at this. So when you hear a state fund, and state fund is not totally horrible, but it's a last resort. Just like Kevin said, it's a last resort. You don't want to go to them first. You want to go to them last when you try everything else, and nothing else will work for you.
Now, Kevin, some years ago, though, there seemed to be more options, and then all of a sudden, the options appeared to disappear.
Yeah.
And then only thing you seem to had was, I've always worked in accounting and HR, and it always came, and payroll, that, okay, this is your only option, is State Farm. It was like all of the companies just disappeared, or at least that's what they told us.
Well, it's only really bad for contractors. I feel bad for them who need it's commercial auto insurance. The markets are disappearing. That's where for your trucks and vans on the roads, contractors are having a hard time. Allstate, State Farm pulled out of the state of California. Nationwide pulled out of California. So you have too many carriers pulling out, and then you have carriers that are just tightening their guidelines. And to me, I'm like, the guidelines are getting ridiculous. One of the carrier options I have, like Travelers, well, they want a minimum 3 trucks. If you have 2 or less, they don't want you.
Wow.
And then
wow.
This one's ridiculous. Guard. I'm trying to understand this reasoning. In California, for commercial auto, they don't want plumbers or HVAC contractors right now.
That is crazy.
But you have to, if you're going after big contracts like certification contracts, insurance is something you have to have,
Yes,
right? I mean, you cannot have a big contract if you can't absorb the risk somewhere. So that's like a catch-22, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's really auto's the challenge right now in California, but workers' comp actually is it's the markets are thriving, and I know who they are. And no, State Fund is like I could take just about 95% of the trades to a private carrier, and one of my carriers that's one of the secret things I always. One secret I'll share if you want to save money on insurance is, and this is something that I'm really good at, is you'll get the best rates from an insurance company when they first enter the state of California. Now, there are
Mm.
two reasons for that. Number one, they have no market share.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm.
So because they have no market share, how do you get customers? By having lower prices.
Right.
Now,
To it.
the cycle of insurance goes like this. They could afford to have file the lowest rates with the Department of Insurance because
Mhm.
they don't have any losses yet. See,
Mhm.
rates go up when claims go up. They go up
Yeah.
together. That's the nature of insurance. So people need to understand. It's like, you know, everyone bitches, oh my God, my rates went up. I didn't file a claim. Well, you're only a small factor of it. It's the other people in your industry filed claims and they're looking at the industry and saying, ooh, too many claims. We need to raise the rates on this class code.
One of the next thing I want to
Wow.
talk to you
That's how
about,
insurance
Kevin.
works,
One
unfortunately.
one of the next thing I want to talk to you about, Kevin, about is
Mhm.
coverage. So,
Yes.
but before that, I want to recognize my field correspondent, Mr. Greg Sneed. He said clients have to understand the risk is always there. He said the choice is who pays for the loss. So whether it's you pay for the loss or the insurance company pay for the loss. He said not only claims but insurance fraud is huge too. So those are considerations, and that's probably why some of the carriers like State Fund gouge these small contractors like
Yes.
that.
Very much.
So let's talk about coverage a little bit. And I'm sure
Yes.
you probably cover this in your ebook,
Yes,
but
I do.
many contractors, when they go to State Fund thinking that they're getting help with their insurance premiums, they end up having to pay more for less coverage. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wrote this book. This is more on contractors' liability insurance, and because basically work comp it's very set by the state, So there's no what I call policy exclusions in work comp. Liability is a whole different game. So basically, you can't just compare premiums, because basically carriers can write funky policy exclusions to really make it's cheaper because if you read the fine print, you're like, gotcha. And that's what my book
Mm.
is all about. Secrets insurance companies pray you never discover. See, one of the big major ways that an insurance company will gladly discount your premium is by cutting off their coverage liability on the insured. So in the state of California, the statutory limits is 10 years. Okay, for the
Mm,
construction trades. So
mm.
obviously, if California holds you liable, a contractor liable for 10 years, I'm assuming you want your liability policy to cover you for 10 years.
That's right.
If so, you want to have what's called an occurrence form policy. That's the key right there. Now, so what companies will do is they will gladly cut the 10 years to 2 to 4 years and give you a 25% discount on your premium.
Oh.
And that's one of them. These are clauses. One's called a sunset clause. A sunset clause, it will cover you from anywhere from 2 to 4 years. The insurance company discounts the premium by up to 25% because those other 6 years, they're off the hook.
See, that's crazy though, because many of these government contracts, City of Los Angeles, County of Los Angeles, LA Metro,
Mm-hmm.
LAX, many of those contracts are for 5 years and beyond. So
Mm-hmm.
when a contractor works on a project that is 5 years and beyond, but their coverage is only up to 4 years, should something happen after that on the project, and they did the work, then what happened? They have to absorb that cost themselves because the insurance
Pretty
company is
much,
not going to cover
yeah.
it.
These are
Wow,
how claims get denied.
man.
So basically, I've been doing this for 15 years. I do policy reviews, and the difference is, in any sales, sales is sales. A salesperson could be either transactional or relational.
Yeah.
I'm very relational. I care. I educate customers. See, a transactional insurance broker just wants to make a quick buck, sell, move to the
Mm-hmm.
next one.
Yeah.
So only they care about is butchering the price down. Hey, their tagline is, look how cheap the premium is.
Mm-hmm.
But what do? They're putting in a sunset clause in there. They're not telling you what that is.
Yeah.
So
And
I see it all the time. I do a review. I'm like, oh, I see you have a sunset clause. Did your broker tell you what that is? No,
yeah.
of course not.
And
Wow.
that's why our field correspondent Greg is saying that the business owner has to carefully examine the declaration page in their policy, and that's so true.
And then another nasty little ticket item insurance companies throw in there. Their secret number 2, another clause is called a claims made policy. This one's even worse than a sunset clause. A claims made policy. It should be. I talk about it in my book.
Okay.
But sunset clause. I think the next one I say is claims made. You keep scrolling that. There it is.
Right.
Claims made policy is basically, this is really dirty. So in the event, if you have a claims made policy, if you file a claim 60 days after your policy expires, you're not covered.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty ruthless.
Man, that is crazy.
Yeah, so
even though it was in the time frame that the policy was supposedly covering your risk.
Yeah, you have to make the claim within 60 days of the policy expiration date.
And see, a lot of the small contractors, just because they get covered, they think, hey, I'm covered, man. So I don't have to worry about anything. And they don't even read the declaration page or other pages.
The third thing I always tell a contractor, now we all know policy exclusions is a key thing in contractors' liability insurance. See, there's no such thing as a policy with no exclusions. Doesn't exist.
Right.
But what you want is, I always tell my clients, read the exclusions. If you don't have a problem with it, then we're fine. If you have a problem with it, I'll find another policy for you.
Right.
But the problem is there's these major underwriters that they write their policy exclusions in a way that's so vague. It's like 20 lines long, and my joke is it was written, but they hired a lawyer. They have their lawyer. He went to Harvard and got a 5.0 GPA. So obviously he speaks Harvard English, and I don't Harvard, sorry, you know.
The Harvard English.
Yeah, I don't speak Harvard. He writes in Harvard, real sophisticated. It's so vague. I've given it to I have a good construction attorney friend, and he said the same thing. He's like, this covers nothing, because it's so vaguely written, and that's a key. So the number one thing I teach a contractor, read the exclusions. If you're like, and you don't understand what it says, rip it up, find a new one. Because if you don't understand your exclusions, and then this carrier at the end of what you don't understand, it says this is how they'll get you when you file a claim against them and they deny it. Please, it'll say at the bottom, please initial that you've read and understand your exclusions.
See, I hate those pages, man.
Oh yeah, this one carrier I have, they have about a good 30 to 40% market share, and many brokers push this product because number one, it's cheap, fast, easy. You don't have to have any knowledge in underwriting. Pretty scary, and you can sell this product.
Yes.
Wow.
You don't have to know guidelines with this carrier. So you got contractors who just want to sell to everyone, not learn the industry. And SIS, that's the name of the company. They push this product. They push it through to them because they don't have to learn anything, and they just want to make a commission.
Yes.
So basically you're saying, because a lot of people, with the internet being so accessible, they skip the broker and then they do their research, and I need commercial insurance, so I'm just going to do a search, and whoever populates, I'm going to go. But you're saying no, you really truly have to have a broker. It's like having a CPA. You really need that person to help you understand what you're really signing up for.
Or it's like me
because it may not pay anything, right?
It's like me trying to fix my house because it's cheaper, not hire a contractor. I'm an expert in this field, yes, and that's it makes a big difference, because I understand the insurance for this industry. I know all the dirty secrets some of these companies use, and and on top of that, I will educate on making sure you understand. I educate my contractors, because my contractors, they before, a lot of them, before they talk to me, oh yeah, this is what I pay monthly. What's your coverage? They can't say anything.
That's a challenge right there. That's a challenge.
Yeah, and I always say in insurance, I don't care what line of insurance it is. If an insurance broker just talks price and doesn't talk coverage, find a new broker. He's bad.
So if you're getting a policy and it's less than $1 million for a single coverage, then you're getting into some troubled waters there, because at least $1 million should be the minimum coverage, right?
Yeah, I never sell less than $1 million. And then on top of that, you don't even save money really. Like if you it's not like I cut my liability from $1 million to 500,000.
Right.
The premium's not cut in half.
Yeah,
you'll probably save $5.
Yeah.
And literally, it's pennies on the dollar. So contractors are, oh yeah, cut my coverage. I want to save money. I'm like, no, you don't save money that way.
And another thing that small businesses as well as contractors need to pay attention to when they're purchasing insurance, they not only do they want to look at the price, they want to look at the coverage. They need to understand what single coverage versus aggregate coverage is, because sometimes they may hear the single coverage is $1 million. So they figure, oh, this is $1 million for each time something goes wrong. But the insurance company may say, okay, $1 million single, but for your aggregate, you can only have 2 or 3 of these occurrences in a year.
Yep, exactly.
So if you have 4 or 5 occurrences, I'm sorry, we're only paying for 3.
Exactly. Occurrence is max per policy claim. Aggregate is how much they'll pay per policy year.
Yes, exactly.
So how many people really know that?
Not
most
too many.
people just see the coverage and just skip right on by that, right? They just assume that it covers everything when they need it.
Yeah, everything's got limits, and that's the key. You got to know, what are your policy limits, coverage limits.
Yes.
And you have to understand what it means. So what is the occurrence? Yeah, the occurrence means no more than per policy claim. Aggregate, no more. They'll pay no more than this amount per policy year.
For a policy year, exactly. Because I have to get insurance all the time, because I have multiple government contracts that I'm working on right now, and each contractor, or I should say each contract owner, they want you to make them additional insured. So each time you get your policy, you got to say, okay, LA Metro, I'm making them additional insured, and they want 1 million single and like 2 or 3 million aggregate coverage for the year, which is crazy, man. It's crazy. So
that's very standard, and especially for contractors. One thing that, because I eat, breathe, sleep construction insurance. The certificate world for the contractors is very, very complex. If any contractor wants to get, big boy jobs, that pay well, guess what? They're going to have to get the big boy insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of them will have to require certain endorsements, waiver of subrogation, primary wording, ongoing completed operations, CG 2037.
Right.
Every time, I get new customers and they're frustrated. My broker doesn't even know any of these endorsements. And it's
wow.
The kicker to this also is, when I was at LAUSD, one of the problems that small contractors had was when they're telling them to get insurance, the insurance company was telling them they need to have audited financials. Audited financial. Now, how is audited financial cost anywhere from $30,000 and above? How is a small contractor going to afford $30,000 for an audited financial? This is crazy. This is crazy. And that's one of the things we used to argue with LAUSD a lot. And then they got to the point where they saw that, these small contractors are only getting like $250,000 in contracts, or maybe $350,000. So they said, okay, we're going to waive the audited financial requirement. That's
Mhm.
crazy. That is crazy, man.
Wow. And you actually specialize with the industries that have the highest liability risks, with both in the construction industry, contractors, and the restaurant business, right? All
Yeah.
of them highly risky occupations and
Yeah,
industries.
but I like to specialize in that because they need a lot of help. Like,
Yes.
I mean, if someone came to me, like, I'm like, hey, I have a friend. He has a law firm. Can you help him with work comp? Like, not really. It's the lowest risk in the town. Like, it's like I can't save you money, really.
Yeah.
It's like, because like your percentage rates at the clerical is the lowest percentage rate. That's all you
Yeah.
are in the law office. You're clerical. They're cheap.
Yeah.
See, I like to help the carpenters, the plumbers, painters. These guys got work comp percentage rates that can, I'm helping them get them down from like state fund charges anywhere of like
Right.
over 20%, and I get below 10%.
Yeah, the attorney
so-
the attorney can easily go and get professional liability anywhere.
Yeah, but that's why when it comes to, like, especially on the work comp, I like helping more of the high risk contractors, because many brokers really don't know underwriting guidelines, and they fail, get declined. Like, the number one thing an underwriter will look, the number one way you get declined by an underwriter, your website.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I know, so like, basically the number one thing I always consult a customer, oh my God, I can't get coverage. What's your website? Look them up. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is why you're getting declined. See, I know, I'll look through a contractor's website. I'm like, okay, what I advise, we need to take your website down.
Yeah,
So that way your underwriter sees nothing.
exactly.
I've done that for plenty of my
Really?
customers.
So why is that a problem? What
Because
does it-
underwriters look at the services of a contractor. Your
Yeah.
services, if you say X, Y, and Z, and they're like,
Yeah.
we don't like X, Y, and
Right,
Z,
right.
they call the web declined
Yeah.
due to services.
Really?
Oh yeah. And so basically, like, a lot of contractors, they're having a hard time. I'm like, I Google them. Is this your website? I look at it. I was like, this is why you're getting declined. And I'll coach them on how to edit your website.
Yeah.
And then you could change it later after we write your policy.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because
yeah.
every business has to have a website.
Yeah.
And the idea of a website is to tell your clients
The
what
problem-
services
see-
you offer, right?
The problem is, see, underwriters don't understand why you have a website. Sales
Right.
101, get the phone
Right.
to ring, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
half the crap you put on a website, it's BS. It
Yeah.
looks good, so you
Yeah.
get them to call you.
Right.
So, like, but underwriters think everything's so literal on a website.
Yeah.
They don't understand marketing.
They
You
look
know.
for services provided and exposure to liability. That's what they look for.
Wow. Who would have thought that was the case?
And so
Wow.
that's something I'm very good at. So, like, I'll scope out a contractor's website. I'm like, okay, before I submit, you need to change this on your website. They're going to
Yeah.
find you. Underwriters know how to Google you,
Yeah.
just like I do.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get declined. This scares them.
Yeah.
And so, because I've been doing it a long time. I mean, oh my God, I think I still remember my worst web decline. I remember like 10 years ago, I had this electrical contractor. Okay. And he got declined. They looked at his website. I'm like, what's wrong with this website? And then he just took drone shots of the homes he worked on. They said due to his height exposure. It's a drone. Are you kidding me?
Height exposure.
Yeah.
That is crazy, man.
But I'm like, and I talked to the guys like that. I just use a drone to take aerial shots of the homes I'm working on. I'm
Yeah.
like, but literally, people need to understand. Underwriters, they use a different brain.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't
get
man.
it. And
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
these are all, I can share a lot of stories on how a contractor will get declined by an underwriter. And
Yeah.
you'll be like shaking your head. That makes no sense. No,
Right.
it does not make sense. But that's
Right.
an underwriter for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
So,
But
Kevin, you've got this ebook here. Do you want to go through certain segments of the ebook so
yeah,
our viewers can understand
yeah,
some
definitely.
of the
So like,
benefits?
well, basically, like let me go over. Oh, this is a huge one actually, right here. Oh, for any plumbers, if any plumbers are on here, this is a huge exclusion. Uh, open structure water damage. There are carriers that will write plumbers but exclude or have a sublimit on water damage.
Wow.
And it's like,
And what
now,
does that mean?
so basically, like, a plumber, what's a peril is a loss. We call it a peril on insurance. The number one peril for a plumber is water damage, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are carriers that write a plumber and exclude water damage. Or
Wow.
they'll have,
Wow.
instead of $1 million for the water damage, they'll have a sublimit of 25,000. So
It's
like,
like
there's a lot of gotchas. This is actually a good one. I'm glad I'm looking at this one. So there are carriers that have these little gotchas in there that if you don't read it, water damage, a water damage sub limit 25K. So the plumber's thinking, oh yeah, I have $1 million policy, but not for a water damage claim.
oh man, this is like
And-
having a diver being insured, but he can't touch water.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of crap out there. And there's carriers that sell this stuff. And
This
the
is
sad thing is,
crazy.
these are reasons why these premiums are cheaper. Of course it's cheaper because
Wow.
this is how these carriers can they could reduce premium by reducing their exposure of risk.
That is crazy, man.
So you think, as Greg said earlier, you think you're getting a good deal, but actually it's because so many things have been cut out.
Yeah, so
and
so
carved
so
out.
many key things.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you stopped at this one. That's my favorite one for plumbers. And I know those carriers by name that plumbers need to be aware of. I could tell you who they are, and and that they have these little gotchas in their open, like, yeah, water damage sublimit. Oh, another one for plumbers. This one underwriter I can't stand. They have a heating device exclusion. So,
And what does that mean?
so basically, a lot of plumbers on the job will weld pipes and use a blowtorch.
Uh-huh.
Right.
That's a heating device. So if you cause a fire with your heating device, you're not covered.
Oh Lord. That's
So
crazy,
there's so many gotchas with some of these carriers. Another great one, like some carriers for painting contractors, they could have overspray exclusion.
That is crazy.
There's a lot of
what
stuff
is an
out there.
overspray?
So
What is an overspray?
Yeah, so as an overspray, there it is. Yeah, overspray is the painter that uses a spray gun. So let's say you have an overspray and then the wind takes your paint and damages something.
Yeah.
Well, some carriers will have an overspray exclusion and you're not covered for that.
But then you have no control over the wind blowing the paint in a
But you
different
want to make
direction.
sure you have a carrier that covers for overspray.
Oh my Lord, this is
So
crazy.
There's a lot of little things in there for each trade that if you have an overspray exclusion as a painter, that's not good.
See, this is when the government should be stepping in to help the small business, but instead they're burdening them with these overbearing insurance premiums in the state fund program. That is crazy, man. That is crazy.
These are all
Wow.
little examples. Every trade's got something in there that can. It's like another one. Roofers are a tough one, but roofers need to beware of open roof exposure.
Yeah.
Like, it's a roof. As a roofing contractor, you need to be a meteorologist. You got to know when it's raining.
Yes.
That's
crazy.
So carriers will have exclusions for roofers of open roof damage. So you open the roof during a rainstorm and if it rains in, you're liable for that. Some carriers, we don't cover that.
One thing I learned, Kevin, when I was at LAUSD and we're doing OSHA training, right? OSHA would come in and they're training contractors. One of the things that OSHA will inform us on is that if you're a roofer and you're over 45 years of age or older, you tend to be a high risk because their research show that most of the people who fall off roof, most of the contractors who fall off roof are within the ages of 45 and say 65. Because
Ooh.
those, and then you're wondering, why would that happen? 45-year-old, this guy is seasoned. He knows the rules. But those are the guys who tend to say, hey, I know this, so I can take the risk. And then the insurance companies, they step in and they say, if you're a contractor and you're older than 45-year-old, then the premiums are going to be higher. It's crazy. It is crazy, man.
And another big one, obviously, is on, I advise anyone if you want to have better risk, I mean, you may have some good employees who are young, but you want to keep, if you have a commercial auto fleet, you don't want drivers under 30.
Wow.
And then some carriers, they won't write anyone under 25.
That is crazy, so, man.
It's really important, to understand those vehicles on the road are your liability, and you want to make sure, I still remember a week ago, I had this HVAC contractor. Mm-hmm. He was shopping his commercial auto because he was like, yeah, I'm currently with, I think it was Liberty Mutual or something. And then he's like, oh, they just rose my rates. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, because my driver has 12 points. I'm sitting here like, do you think I have a carrier that wants 12 points? That's an equivalent of 4 at-fault accidents.
Wow.
Yeah, because an at-fault is 3 points. So I'm like, this guy could have up to 4 at-fault accidents. That's a bad risk. Yeah. And I'm sitting here thinking like, why are you giving the keys to this guy? He crashes your truck, they're suing you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, I'm sitting there like, wow. It's like, I just don't want to deal with people who can't understand basic risk and expose themselves like that. That's just, it's not smart as a business owner. You want to.
So Kevin, as an insurance, you consider yourself a broker or?
Yes, I'm an independent broker.
Broker.
And I'm unlike someone who's captive, like when I was at Allstate. Yeah. That's captive. So yeah, you want to work with an independent broker because insurance can get very volatile, like it is right now. Especially like I said, commercial auto. I feel bad for anyone who's a State Farm or Allstate, and now they can't write commercial auto in California anymore.
Wow. See, these are things that small businesses need to know because I don't think a lot of the small businesses know
captive agents versus independent brokers.
Yeah, exactly.
These are all, and especially in brokers who specialize, like me.
Yeah,
I specialize in construction.
Right.
These are little things you want to know, like when you're getting your quotes. Because if you're going to someone who has limited options, there's never in construction, there's never such thing as the best carrier for everyone.
Yeah. So with that being said, a small contractor, specialty trade contractor, or a GC, if they need to have someone like you on their side, because really you're going to be an advocate for them.
Yes.
So then you can point them in directions which companies they can go to in order to get good rates, right?
Basically, I'm like what you call a matchmaker. See, I understand. Like the number one thing I do, and this is how I get a lot of new customers. Yeah. I like to target the low and the good risk contractors, which is about 95% of the trades, because like I said, and when I see someone like, ooh, Mr. Electrical Contractor, you've been with State Fund for 3 years. Yeah. And it's like, and then I just ask, do you have any claims? Most of them are like, all the time, no. Yeah. And I tell them you're overpaying by 50%.
Yeah. See, they need someone like you as an advocate to help educate them as they go along, because like you say, they don't know this. They probably were referred by a broker to State Fund because that was easier for them. Maybe it's a new contractor with no history, so they're going, I don't want to be bothered with this. Let's send them to State Fund.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
maybe they can stay with State Fund for a
And
year.
the other thing I'm very good at is I know the high price names in my industry.
Yeah.
That you're paying for the name.
Yeah.
And it's like you pay extra premium for his name.
Right.
I don't know if anyone knows the name Berkshire Hathaway.
Oh yeah, I thought those guys were inexpensive.
Oh no. Berkshire Hathaway has a 50% market share in my industry.
Dang, really? That's that rich guy there. What's his name?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, right? Yep. He owns that company.
Yes, he does. Warren Buffett's worth $90 billion because he charges you for his name. Real simple. And
wow.
So basically, what I find is, because I do a lot of Google ads, and my friend researches it. I think Berkshire Hathaway, with their billions of dollars, they probably spend about a couple $1 million a month on Google for ads to be found. I spend $300. I mean, big budget difference, right? But what happens is, because they spend all this money, people are being found to them, and they spend a lot of money. They want everyone to find them. They have direct carriers that want, like Byberg. They're directly found, and people are going there, and they're trying to cut out brokers and then up the premium and try to capture them. So that way they don't find brokers like me who will actually show them how to get a better deal. And so it makes a big difference. And the biggest, dirtiest secret is in my industry, people are not aware. When I ask this question, do you know who my number one competitor is?
Who?
People are surprised when my answer is ADP and Paychecks.
How come?
They're not in the payroll business. They're the biggest work comp brokers.
Really?
They suck you in by selling payroll at a loss leader, kind of like going to Costco for that cheap
chicken. And that's why I was saying it appeared, because in payroll, ADP, QuickBooks, all of those, right?
They do their own insurance.
Right, exactly. So they give you the impression that State Fund is the only insurance carrier that's out there for you, and that all the rest of them have just disappeared. And especially when I was really in that, when I worked in that industry, and that's why I said that earlier, is I didn't even know there were other carriers out there. It appeared that they all had disappeared.
And so, and the sad thing is, like ADP, this is the biggest problem people don't understand about ADP. See, as an insurance agent, I've been in business for, almost 20 years, and if you want to make money and, be the entrepreneur, you got to own the book of business. The problem with ADP is ADP owns the book of business. That's why they're worth billions and billions. Okay. Paychecks owns the business. The brokers who sell it, they don't. And so what happens is when someone gets experience and they're like, ADP's making a lot of money off of me. I'm pretty good. I'm going to go open up my own agency. They have a churn and burn. So the odds, this is the problem with ADP that will kill a contractor. Odds are you're getting a quote from a guy who probably just got his insurance license with no experience.
Wow.
That's who's quoting you at ADP. Odds are. So versus me with 20 years of experience.
So how does a small contractor find you, Kevin? How do they know where to go? How to get a hold of you?
Okay. Can I put a chat, or you want to share my?
Put it in the chat,
and then we'll move it over.
Yeah.
But I will share your website. So here's the thing: how often should a contractor or anyone sit down with their broker to review
their policy?
Annually.
Annually, yeah,
annually.
because that's
Uh,
what's recommended with
Annually.
if they if
I
if
review annually with my customers, and I don't auto see. This is the other thing. A lot of brokers are on autopilot. They just send renewals out without even checking.
yeah
And see, the problem is the markets are always changing. There's always new carriers coming in. Rates, there could be rate hikes with certain carriers. So the first thing I do when I get a renewal, I check it. I check when I check the last year's application. Price the
yeah
same. Okay. No rate hike. First thing I look for, did they have a rate hike? If so, I'm going to go
yeah
check for my customers.
right
You
right
know, and there's many, like I said, insurance is a volatile business. You can't just be on autopilot and just send out renewals without checking or making sure. Like especially if you're and this especially goes true for plumbers out there. One of my underwriters, BTIS, they were one of my best underwriters for plumbers. Well, they stopped writing after 1 year with their new program. Losses, too many claims with the plumbers. So it's very very important. Every year you definitely want to take a look. That's something I do. I'm not on autopilot. When I get a renewal from my customer, I'll go check it. Hey, let me do a quick comparison. It only takes me 5 minutes.
yeah wow
But that's something that's very important. And I see it all with many brokers there that they just send out the renewal, because they just think it's an autopilot game, no work needed, and that's far from the truth.
all right. Well, the folks are paying it, so that's what they want. They want to get that money.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things we're going to do, Kevin, we're going to attach your info to our website, make it a resource for these small contractors so they can tap into it, establish a one-on-one meeting with you, and then go over their policy. Or if they don't have a policy,
Mm-hmm.
they can talk to you about obtaining a new policy,
Yeah,
and then you
I'll
educate
gladly do free reviews for any contractor, because
yeah
I'll dissect it to see if, and I'll look for those things, like one of my friends, he's a plumbing contractor. I said, that's a great carrier. I write plumbers with them, but I told him one thing you want to get rid of is that sunset clause.
right
He had a sunset clause in there. I said, and he's like, oh wow, so. I mean, if he wants to
Did
stay,
he?
I just gave
Did
him
he
advice.
know he had a contract? Or he had that sunset clause? Or
No,
wow,
I just said that's my only thing. I said I write with this carrier, but this is the one thing you need to get rid of. Don't have a sunset clause.
wow, wow. I mean, because let's take the roofing and the overspray. These things are important, and so let me ask this question: as the consumer, if I'm looking for a contractor, do I need to see their insurance policy?
Very, very smart. What you definitely want is you definitely want to get their COI, the Accord 25 certificate, the certificate of insurance. You want to know
Okay.
who the carrier is, number one. But a COI is very limited. It doesn't, more than anything, even better is getting the full policy jacket, the declarations page, because then that's where it's written for all the meat and potatoes of the policy. But oh yeah, if I as a homeowner, if I had someone working on my house, and they weren't and the contractor's not my customer, because then I don't know who's selling them the insurance. I'll get their COI. I'm like, oh no, let me. And then I'll tell them, like, oh, by the way, you don't have a good policy. I don't want you working on my house with this thing. Like, I sell this stuff.
Oh wow.
I would, as a homeowner, I would know. So I mean, but like majority of my things I do on my home, I just got my HVAC replaced. I called one of my customers. But like, I called one of my HVACs. They redid our HVAC in our house. But if I did have a contractor and I didn't write the policy, then yeah, I want to see what that is, because I understand the magnitude of having a policy with a bad exclusion in there. And as the homeowner, they're the ones who could suffer a bad loss if the insurance company denies a claim.
That's just, I mean, eye-opening actually.
Oh yeah, it is.
Because you think, yeah, it's eye-opening because you really don't think about, that from a homeowner side or a consumer side. You think, okay, they gotta have, they have their insurance and it would cover whatever the damage, like that heating device one. Wow, what the heck? How would I know what that looks like, right? I just need you to fix my plumbing. I don't care how you do it.
But yeah, if they have the heating device exclusion, they got to weld a pipe and turn on a blowtorch. That's not covered.
Yeah, see, that's that. Yeah, wow. Okay, that's some eye-opening stuff. People should, guys, make sure you see the person's full insurance jacket before. That's cool. Greg, glad to have you. Greg said wow as well. Because you just wouldn't know that until you had a claim and then you find yourself in court and you realize that they never had the insurance in the first place.
And I have one of my good friends in my networking group. He's a construction attorney. He defends contractors for litigation, and he knows so him and I, we both know this stuff, and he definitely understands about so he knows the carrier that I badmouth because I don't like them. He's like, oh yeah, that company's terrible. But that's something, when it comes down to that. So any listener out there, if they want to, who's a contractor, they want to get a free review. They want to understand, get educated, because, unless if your broker doesn't educate you, you're getting insurance and you're just, you hope for the best that you're covered. You don't want to be, as a business owner, that's not where you want to be.
Well, Kevin, you have been very enlightening. Things that I never would have thought about. I do, as Greg said, know sometimes insurance is a racket because I was in that industry a long time ago. But
it is a racket. It is. That's why I enjoy it, because I like to, like I said, I like to expose the racket and really show, so that way that is my number one value is to really, my contractors appreciate, hey, I actually take the time to teach little things, because your insurance is important to you,
Now, where can they find your ebook? Is it on your website or?
Let's see. It's not on my website. I shot you the PDF of it. Let's see. Hold on.
So we can actually.
I have an online version. Let me find it, and I can put it.
Okay, and we can put it in.
I'm looking for it
in the chat. And everyone, this is a lesson learned for everyone. Please look at your insurance contract, your insurances
policies,
and have someone, Kevin, review them. Do you do audits for individuals, Kevin?
Sure, of course. Yeah, that's how I get new customers, because I'll go ahead and, I'll dissect it, I'll go through, do reviews, and I'll give my opinion of what you have,
Yeah, it's an excellent idea, just to have it reviewed to make sure you understand what your exposure is, because that's basically what it is if they've got some. Now, do they have, if let's say that they decided all of a sudden at one point they did have overspray protection for you, and then all of a sudden they decided not to have overspray, are they required by law to tell you that?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Wow. Deep.
I just posted my ebook, that link. So that's the link to get it online.
So folks, if you're a small contractor, specialty trade contractor, or a general contractor, and you're struggling with your insurance, the premium is too high and you're not getting sufficient coverage, you may want to give Kevin a call so he can take a look at your policy for you and give you some feedback. The key thing right now, folks, is to make sure you have insurance on the projects on which you're working right now. We know that the Olympics are coming up. We know that the FIFA World Cup is coming up, 2026 and 2028 respectively. You do not want to be caught where you don't have insurance. That's a preventable thing. So please, please, guys, reach out to Kevin, give him a call or email him, and he will take a look at your situation. And if you have not had a broker look at your policy in over a year, you want to reach out to Kevin so that Kevin can take a look and just give you, honest feedback on it to see if it's something that he can help you with.
I think that's an excellent advice, because Kevin, you have provided us with some eye-opening information that, on an average we wouldn't even think about, and it's something obviously you do need to review on a regular basis, because you rather be prepared than not prepared, because in the construction and the plumbing and the whatever HVAC, things happen all the time because the nature of the business.
Oh yeah. and see, I've been in the industry for a long time, working with contractors on different projects with LA Unified School District, LACCD, and LA Metro. And some of what Kevin was sharing with me, man, I didn't know that. Like some of those clauses, exclusionary clauses, man, those are killers. Those will kill a small contractor. So that's amazing, Kevin. And I love the fact that you put together an ebook that can explain some things to some of these contractors.
It's an easy my book. It's an easy 12-page read.
Yeah,
so anyone on there want that, the link's right there. You can download it, take a look at it. But I basically I just put in there to share my 15 years of all the crap I've seen.
I love it.
Good job, man. Good job. Wow. Like I said, there were a lot of wow moments in this interview.
Yeah.
Thank you
for sure.
so much, Kevin. We so appreciate having you. We will make sure we add you in as a resource and a referral for Gilbert's a whole network of clients are in the construction industry.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are out there listening, please give him a call. His information's in the chat there, and you will find us on Facebook. You will also find us at LinkedIn, and you will find us at on our YouTube channel. So go to any one of those channels. The book is over there, as well as his contact information. Give him a call so he can take a look at your policies to make sure that you don't have any of those mystery exclusions.
That is so crazy, man. I never, now that you mentioned these exclusions, Kevin, now I'm going to be looking at all my other policies, my homeowner policy, my auto policy, everything, my business policy, all of that.
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, but they get in construction liability, they get real creative with their exclusions.
Yeah.
Unlike homeowners, it's more cut and dry on what's excluded.
Yeah.
But contractors, they write some stuff where it's like, and I find it disgusting that a carrier will write a plumber and exclude water damage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That to me is mind-boggling.
Or a painter with overspray. What?
Painter with
overspray. Yeah, there's just little things, and just little things, or like that one underwriter that I don't like, called SIS. They write their, like I said, their exclusions this long. Like I said, the Harvard who got a 5.0 GPA, and it's like, but the sad thing is, brokers sell that thing because they're just saying, oh, I mean, the only way you could sell that is say initial. Don't read initial. There you go. Pay me.
Yes, that's another thing.
That's the only way you can sell that policy.
Right.
Don't review it, because then you're going to ask me too many questions.
Yeah, and those would be big questions, because once
but they're good questions to ask.
There's
no way you could sell that thing if you took the time to really, because you're not going to sell it, because the contractor's like, I don't like this.
Right.
See, that's where I say the government should come in, man, because their job is to look out for the small business and the general public, and they're not doing that. They're letting these companies getting away with all of that.
Wow, that's all I can say. Again, a very wowing session.
A very wowie moment there,
Right,
huh?
exactly. Because some of those things are just, I mean, it's part of doing business, and so to exclude them, knowing that the probability of a liability or a lawsuit insuring or a claim coming from that is like 100%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And
that almost seems cruel.
now that's cruel and unusual punishment. That's
Right,
what that
exactly.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now you know why a lot of these small contractors can't really make a profit because they're paying into these sinkholes of policies
Mhm.
and coverages. It's
And
ridiculous.
that's the big key is a lot of contractors, they want, oh, I can afford this insurance, but it's empty
Yeah,
there's no
Right,
substance.
exactly.
yeah,
No
And
substance.
so that's how some of these carriers, they'll attract it in, but many brokers, like I said, don't care. They just want to make a quick buck, and
yeah,
their line is, hey, look how cheap the premium is. Your monthly
yeah,
payment's this.
Mhm.
definitely.
But
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for being our guest on the Business Zone today.
thank you.
We hope to have you come back and
Yeah.
share some more with us. Maybe by then you'll have another ebook written. Maybe.
On the restaurant business, what they should look for. But I want to say this to you, Kevin. I commend you. Gilbert and I both are very conscientious business coaches, and so we're always concerned and making sure that our businesses are have all the information they need to be successful at what they do.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah,
want to commend you on the fact that you also seem to be passionate about not just selling an insurance policy, but making sure that your customers are
yeah,
well protected. And
right.
so, because a lot
Yeah.
of people don't, a lot of professionals just it's about
Yes.
the money, right? And
Yeah,
not about the
Very,
fact that,
very much.
I'm in this business to help you make sure you're, properly insured so you can prevent any casualties down the line. So I
Yeah.
commend
And
you for that.
it
Thank you.
disgusts me, the things I've seen, and and then, yeah, and then in return, I get a grateful client like, man, thank you, and I'm like, yeah, no problem, but
yeah,
there's just, it's sad to say, like I said, too many people are who want to sell. They want to be transactional. They don't care. Just they're here to make quick buck.
Right,
Boom, boom,
exactly. So
next. That's it.
So I want to thank you for that because again, that's how Gilbert and I run our businesses. And so to meet someone
yeah,
else that cares about their people,
yeah,
their customers more, yeah, you're going to make money, but we all want to make money and make sure that we are being able to our businesses survive, but we also want to do it in great consciousness
Very
and
much.
be proud of the work that we do. So thank you so much for being a
Thank
guest
you.
on the Business Zone, and as well as for providing the business services for your clients. So thank you so much.
and this link will be on YouTube, Kevin. So as a matter of fact, once the show ends in about 3 minutes, you can go straight to YouTube. You'll see this show there. You can just copy the link and you can paste
Yeah.
it in your marketing program.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Gilbert, just if you could email me the link and so I could see it, I'd appreciate it.
Oh,
Do
sure,
that, and I will
Thank you.
tag you.
not a problem.
I'll
Yes,
go into LinkedIn and tag you on that.
yeah,
And I think I
yeah.
just start following you on Facebook, so I'll tag you on that as well. Okay.
All
And
right.
and
Thank you.
Kevin, I don't need to tell you this, but I'm sure you could take the link and just chop up little bits and pieces and put that in your next ebook, right? This is another part of your training program, so that's great, man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. You have a great weekend, and we look forward to having you on again.
All
Thank you so
right,
much. Have a good day.
have
All
a good
right.
one, Kevin. Take care now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Well, that was a good conversation,
That
man.
was great. That was great, guys. So there you have it. That was Kevin Walheim with Cal Commercial Insurance, guys. You really want to check him out because he is helping us to go out there and take care of small businesses, small contractors like you. If you're overspending on your insurance premiums, he can help you to reduce that. If you are a customer of California State Fund, then you want to talk to Kevin as well, because State Fund is usually an overpriced, overcost insurance program, and it's supposed to be a last resort type thing. If you can't get insurance anywhere, then that's your last resort. You go there. But if you've been in business for over a year, you don't need to be with them anymore. So
It
you
actually,
guys,
yes, it's a last resort, but in some cases they make it feel like it's your only resource. So,
yes,
so
yes,
that's
yes,
what I was saying, because I've always, Stay Fun. That's really what it is, and
yeah,
give you the impression that it was a cheaper offering
yeah.
than anywhere else. Like, whoa, what the heck is this about?
That
This is
that
not
was
even
an eye opener right there, man. That's an eye opener. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. All righty. So as we close out, I want to say happy birthday to Barack Obama. Today is his
Oh, today is
birthday.
the president's
So,
birthday.
yeah, so
All
happy
right.
birthday, former President Barack Obama. We do
That's
miss you,
right.
man.
We miss you, man. Come back. Come back. Come back, Barack. Oh man, this is
Yeah, so
amazing.
great show. Thank you, Gilbert, for
Yes,
introducing us to
Kevin.
Kevin. Yes,
And thank you to co-hosts for putting this together and sending out the marketing and invitation to him as well. So we're just so you know, folks, if this is your first time tuning into the Business Zone, never heard about it before, you're just tuning in for the first time and getting this great information, you too can be a guest on the Business Zone. All you got to do is reach out to us here at the Business Zone. I believe the email is it contact us
us at the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert.
That's right, .com. There you
.com,
go.
or just go right on over to our YouTube channel. You can find us at YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us at LinkedIn. You can find us at Instagram. So just go over there, and all our contact information is there as well. But we'd really like you to go to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, and become part of the family, become part of the Business Zone family. And every week you will get a notification that we are about to go on air, and just pop on over, because you never know who we have as a guest and what our conversations are going to be, but they're well worth it.
That's right. And if you guys are watching the show today, please do go to YouTube and subscribe. Just go ahead and subscribe, guys. It doesn't take much. All you got to do is just go over to YouTube and just click on the link, and that's it. You're in, so you can get future materials from us, future notifications, and that's about it.
That's it. All righty. Ready to take us on out, Mr. Gilbert?
Ready to take us out. So, folks, we'll see you again next week, next Friday from 3 to 4:30 on the same great station, youtube.com. See ya.
Bye, guys.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.